you know.
For that.
This one is a perfect
Walcie sobie te emocje, bo więcej nie wyjdziecie do środka. Resztę zobaczycie po dookoła.
How 3D is this picture going to be when you got the insides too, Mark?
It only does really the outside.
Did you go all the way around it?
Not yet, I only got this part. That part.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and that's what it is. I think it's hard when you say that in English. It could be interpreted both ways. Count it twice, but you're counting it once this way and counting him once this way, and that's why the number is very low. We've got a guide to our left and a guide to our right. I think we'll be fine with that. Now we've got a couple of problems. Anybody look at the flooring here?
Totally unfinished.
Totally unfinished. Another point for
Not complete.
non-completion. Another argument for that. Also, notice that we have basically a peristyle going around the outside. Is that the way ancient temples were put up? What do we have inside most temples? All temples.
So it's up there.
We have a cella inside, huh? So where's your cella?
It's not here.
Not here. Possibilities?
Not completed.
Not completed. But wait a minute. Would you put up your walls and not put in your cella?
And you just didn't get
Probably
You do that
We
first.
should have put the cella in first, shouldn't we? So therefore, oh, this is so hard, and I was on vacation. How are we going to explain the lack of cella if you put up your cella before your columns?
They just never intended for it.
Oh, there it is.
It's that
Maybe we
Sicily
never
model.
intended.
Or they forgot.
Maybe we never intended to have a cella, and therefore, what you see is all you're going to get, and therefore, it might be darn near done. Would that explain the lack of roof pieces? It would. That this is it. That
Would
this
they
was
have put the
always
statue
meant
of
to
their
be.
god? So
Don't have to have a statue of a god in here. That this was designed to be for meetings or for some kind of religious celebrations without a cult figure. Somebody asked, who was this god or goddess that was here? And the answer was?
We don't know.
We don't know. Why don't we know? What kind of
Maybe there
archaeology do you
wasn't
do?
There was nothing written down.
Nothing written down, but what else would your archaeology tell you?
No evidence.
No evidence. Wouldn't you find little votives of some sort?
You would think.
You would think you would. So therefore, maybe. Oh, and therefore the answer is
I can't prove it, so I don't know.
we don't really know, do we?
Well, how much those has been given of the whole site being contaminated and everything gone?
We'd find something for
You
pretty
think?
sure. And in fact, in the 1980s, the Italians think they found the remains of a bit of a cella, which would have been in here. I don't see any
Archaeology
evidence.
is a field that has, in the last 50 years, has come
A
on.
lot of things have come, but you'd think you'd find one little bit of plaster, or one little stone, or part of a votive, or something. So it really is a mystery. We don't know the answer to this, but there are no signs that there was ever a roof here. Now, it could have been wood, but doesn't seem to be any answer to that part. You just don't see any blocks of cella. Now, what is a cella again?
It's the Holy of Holies where
It's the whole building that houses the cult statue for the god. The cult statue of the god would normally be placed off to the west side, which was where? Where in this temple? Right here? Oh, you guys are easy. Where's the west? So nice and loud.
That way.
Yeah, that way. Where the sun's going to set. And so what is it facing? Toward the east. And almost always, just like Christian churches, you'll find the east is where the apse is. It's where the north side where the moss grows on the tree deck. You know, those kinds of things. Right? Now, it ought to be open on the east side, or largely open. And even further to the east, we ought to have an altar. What do we have instead of an altar? A bench. Remember, you were sitting on that before. So we did, and an olive tree. So we didn't have one. Maybe again it was incomplete. Maybe again it was never designed to have one of those things. We may have columns on the inside, off to the east side, And then we should have a cella, a basically windowless wall running all the way down. And then at the far end, the cult figure, if we've got a temple, god or goddess, facing eastward. And behind that cult figure is a wall. Beyond the wall is another room facing then to the west. And that's called the opistomus, or opistadamus. And that's a small room which isn't connected to the cella part except by that wall. It's for treasure. The votives that you give, the good, expensive, valuable things, the gold liturgical instruments for doing your sacrifices and whatnots. So who comes into this temple?
Everybody, maybe.
Nope, not everybody.
No.
Only the priests are going to come in here. This is the home of the god, and things are going to take place for burnings on the altar out there. The other little things take place inside, but the people don't come into temple. It's not like a church.
Here, here's my gift.
Oh, we've
I
got
wanna
lots of good literary references to that people just don't walk in. It's like Egyptian temples, the same kind of thing. Remember how you only are allowed certain ways in, but mostly it's the priests and the upper classes that should be in here.
In fact, you had that thing on the columns that
the
told you
wiki,
this
the
is for the
wiki.
people.
Yeah, remember the little reket birds?
Yes.
And you are the rekets, huh? You with your little wings bound behind you. You stand by you.
This is it.
Nothing like looking and feeling it. Nothing. Anything more we can do with this one? It's a nice temple. We're lucky to be able to get in here. We ought to have a good proper floor, which make it right to this level. After we take away the little part that Tim's pointed out. After we put our flutes in here. Flutes now are ordinarily pointed for Gothic temples. And there should be, I think it's 18 of them, I think. Often doesn't work, that's why I can't remember that. In the Corinthian columns, they should be flat. So instead of pointed like that, they should be like this, sticking out, and there should be 20 of those, I think it is. But it isn't a real good rule. Sometimes they say it should be a ratio of 1 to 6 and 1 to 8 for Doric and Ionic. Doesn't work out very well. Now, do you all see the drums that we have in here? And how they're much easier to handle like this than big monoliths? Look at the piece right above the columns, and you have something called the chinos. That's that bulging pillow piece. Just take a look at these and see how much it bulges. These things change through time, and that's one of the ways that the archaeologists are able to date these buildings where we have no evidence whatsoever. They flatten out as time goes on.
The actual floor would have been this high.
Yeah, the actual floor, we should have a whole level put in here to raise us up, but that would make the columns even shorter and fatter, wouldn't they? So another reason we probably would have cut these off.
Ken,
Line problem would be.
on the second one in, it looks all smooth. Is that a restoration?
Second one in.
From the right.
Oh, the very third one in, I guess I would have called it. Yeah, that looks like a restored piece, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have to do some work. You can see this is ratty limestone. The water just drips down and chews these things up. Yep, there's another one that looks awfully good. Oh, I'm not sure about that one. I think that's but this one looks pretty good. Yeah, just the way it's weathered.
Again, you'd have to